Coming up on Sophisticated Mom.
Because she was her, she actually had to put forth the effort and the hard work and come up with a business plan in order for that to happen. And that played a large part in her success. Whereas Addie Monroe, we just kind of see her standing in one spot in a salon. Even though she knew her product stank, she didn't want to sit up there and redo the product. She just kept chasing Madam C.J. Walker, worried about her, but she was not worried about making her own grass greener. And Madam C.J. Walker was. So that's the difference between her elevation and somebody standing still.
Dedication, preservation, take a look inside your salvation. Do every good work, it takes patience, like a butterfly, transformation.
Guys, Sophie here, and I'm back with another video. If you're new to my channel, then don't forget to subscribe so you can stay updated on all my videos. And don't forget to check my description box because I put a lot of stuff in there, including my Patreon, where I'm going to be covering a series where I'm going to be giving business advice. And the reason why I said that is because we're going to be talking about Madam C.J. Walker and the Netflix series. If you have not watched it, then there are going to be some spoilers in here. So if you choose to watch this video and I have spoiled this for you, I'm giving you a full disclaimer that there's some spoilers in here. C.J. Walker, if y'all don't know who she is like the queen of hair care. She started it. She was a first-generation free slave who went to have income that will be valued at $8 million today, and her behind towards the end of the movie bought a house next to Rockefeller himself. That is not bad for a segregated America in which she was the first free person. And so to you, this is some hard love. For all of y'all saying I can't, I won't, I can't, no, I don't know how, I don't have the resources, I felt like, yo, God, I don't have no excuse for not doing what you put me on this earth to do. If homegirl can sit up there and go from her kitchen making laundry to making $10 million. Where there is a will, there is a way. So, one of the key lessons is that chase the purpose, not the man. That is going to be number one. I actually have a video on this, but from her perspective, I want to take it a little differently. It only talked about 2 marriages in the Netflix show, but in real life, she was married 3 times. The second time, she got married to a guy who was emotionally abusive, and then her third husband, which was in this Netflix show. So what is my point? In the beginning of the series, he was talking about how ugly she was, and he was a drunk. And the reason why is because her hair was falling out, and so that is what prompted her to start this whole journey in becoming Madam C.J. Walker.
I was born to struggle. After a while, I guess I just lost hope. That's when my hair started falling out.
And see, the thing about it is that her husband ended up cheating on her. Well, first of all, her husband was trying to hold her back because out of all of this time where she was trying to be successful, he was not supportive. At first, he kind of was supportive when she was making a little bit of money. Then every time she made a mistake, instead of him being supportive, he literally would tell her that she needed to go back to doing laundry.
I'm not going back to laundry.
Now, we done all made sacrifices. You gonna do what's best for this family.
I'm sorry, what? And then eventually, because her business was getting too big and he felt too emasculated or insignificant, he ended up cheating on her, which, mind you, homeboy was living well. He acting like she was doing him wrong. Y'all both first generation free black people, okay? Let's not get it twisted in the sense that how y'all was living, it don't get no better than that.
You see, I don't take orders no more. Lincoln freed me 40 years back.
That's why I'm gonna pay you.
And that's why you're my favorite daughter-in-law.
Is it all about money? No, but my point is, this is what happens if you were to chase the wrong people or focus too much on a relationship that you forget your purpose. This was an opportunity for Madam C.J. Walker's name, and it is, to be a legacy. Imagine if she would have listened to her husband, which a lot of people, and I'm not saying don't listen to your husband. Let me back up. When you choose the wrong husband, choose the right husband first that is supportive and is not going to be jealous of you and understands that you have a God-ordained purpose and wants to help you along that process and not hurt you. If you pick somebody who doesn't understand that, or there are a lot of people, women who are in relationships or in marriages with people who allow their significant other to hold them back because they value their significant other over their actual purpose. And the reality is, I always feel like God put you here for a purpose. The marriage is the bonus, but ultimately I was not put here just for the entertainment of a man. I was put here, hopefully to get a house next to Rockefeller.
Sarah, how big you want to be?
Big. Carnegie, Ford, and Rockefeller put together.
I'm a ruler.
The way Madam C.J. C.J. Walker was looking at it. And if she had listened to him, she would have been back doing laundry. She would have been in poverty. She would have been poor. He was a drunk anyway. You know, the business and him feeling all jealous over her business was really just a secondary excuse because he had issues even before he cheated on her. And ultimately, if he would have left, then where would she have been? She would have been right where she started because she did not decide to pursue what she was good at and go after her own dreams and not listen to an unsupportive man, but instead listen to the inner guidance to help people, because ultimately I feel like your purpose is to help people, and therefore she was rewarded for it. Even when he left, she still had her freaking empire while he left with his new chick and tried to make her Madam C.J. Walker 2.0, and it didn't work out. She was still sitting pretty, living, you know, her daughter inherited her legacy, started a salon all over the world, and she had a legacy that lived on, whereas he did not. Number 2. So I already touched on this, but one thing that I liked about Madam C.J. Walker is that she really did not make an excuse for anything. Like, and mind you, she had plenty of reasons to make an excuse. Oh, I'm too poor. Oh, and then in the movie, it was her and the light-skinned actress who was her rival. And at first, the light-skinned actress is the one who grew her hair back, and she wanted to work with her. However, the light-skinned actress was like, no, you're too ugly. You know, you're too dark. You don't represent whatever her products is, and therefore you cannot sell my products.
Yeah, I could sell your product. I don't think sales is for you. Colored women will do anything to look like me, even if deep down they know they can't.
So she did not say, oh, well, I'm too ugly. I'm not the standard of beauty. I'm not this. I'm not that. And if y'all watch my channel, y'all know that I'm a huge advocate and I'm a huge believer of convincing or you don't have to convince other people of your worth. You are your worth. And then either people are going to jump on your bandwagon or they can get off of it. So she was like, nah, I'm going to use how I am. Even when her ex-husband came, or her husband at the time, came up with the standard of beauty, skinny, light-skinned person to want to put on the product, she was like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to put me on the product. No, I'm not the standard of beauty, but I don't care. I'm not going to make excuses like, oh, I was born here, I don't look like this, I don't have this, I can't this, I don't. None of that even crossed her vocabulary. The only thing that she kept saying is that she can and she will, and she will find a way to do it.
They put us down, tell us we're ugly, make us feel ugly. Wonderful hair leads to wonderful opportunities.
I think that people tend to hold them own selves back because they want to make a bunch of excuses as to why outside forces are keeping them from doing X, Y, and Z, when the reality is, no, we can't control outside forces, but we can certainly control ourselves. Even when her house got burned down, she didn't say, oh, this is it. This must be, you know, God's will, and he doesn't want me to do anything. She said, no, I'm gonna build a factory.
I want a whole line of products, which is why I want to open my own factory.
There's such a thing as growing too fast.
This must be God's will for me to expand and to build a factory. So it's like turning those excuses and reframing it into something positive and using it for a positive can have a massive impact on your success, instead of sitting in excuses as to what the world is not, is doing, ain't doing, whatever. The world is the world. You are you. You are in control of your own life. And I actually have a video on this, and I forget what it's called, but just like I said, you know, I'm a faith-based channel. If this is your first video, but even when even when they told Jesus to tell his disciples to be quiet, he was like, nah, if the people are not going to cheer for me, the rocks are going to cry out. And so my point in saying that is like, Madam C.J. Walker was like, I don't care what the world is doing, the rock is going to cry out for recognition of my glory, even if she, him, her, you, over there, whatever, don't recognize my glory, because there were a whole bunch of setbacks. There were a bunch of people when she went to Booker T. Washington for an endorsement that did not want to be on her team.
We live in a man's world. It's just not our place.
I didn't come here to make sandwiches. I came here to do business.
I did not want to help her business. That really did happen. But she was like, something is going to come through. The rocks is going to cry out. Something is going to come from somewhere. And I'm going to continue to excel and improve in my business simply because I want to. There was no excuses in that. So if she could do it in her situation, I mean, it was a bad situation. I mean, she was like a slave. I mean, a free slave. If she can do it, you have to understand, then you can too. You can't continue to make excuses as to why you can't when other people have in worse situations.
From now on, I'm doing my own hair, making my own hair grower.
Come on, mama.
You sure on to something.
You can call me queen.
The third one is that work hard. So whenever, this amazes me. And I know it's gonna sound really bad, but it really amazes me on how many people just seem to think that they're just gonna get everything always longed for by sitting there and not doing anything. I know there was this whole law of attraction thing at one point. Oh, if you just dream about it and you manifest. Okay, you can do positive affirmations and all that other type of stuff. I definitely have a positive affirmation Christian with scriptures and positive affirmations, but make no mistake about it, you still have to put in hard work and effort to back up what you are doing. Things don't come just because you want to wish upon a star and you get it. And I feel like in the actual Netflix show, you see Addie Monroe and then you see Madam C.J. Walker. Addie Monroe was her rival, and most of her time was spent chasing Madam C.J. Walker and trying to figure out what she was doing, trying to figure out her formula, trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to do this, that ultimately she forgot about her own purpose and she stopped chasing her own purpose because she was so busy working towards something else instead of trying to work to improve her own business. Now, in real life, Addie Walker, she was a millionaire as well, but I mean, Madam C.J. Walker was an 8 millionaire. And so really when it comes down to it, no matter what was going on, oh, Addie Monroe is on me, that didn't make her stop. She still worked. She still came up with a business plan. She still worked harder. She didn't let what anybody said or outside influences, nor did she think just because I am mediocre or okay that I should stop working or that it should just come to me simply because I want. She was willing to move to a different area so that her business will prosper. She was willing to take risks and go out on limbs and meet with significant and prominent people. She was willing to stop Booker T. Washington. I mean, he didn't end up endorsing her, but his wife end up getting her the money that she needed. But all of that required her moving and shaking and doing things. None of that just came to her simply because she was her. She actually had to put forth the effort and the hard work and come up with a business plan in order for that to happen. And that played a large part in her success. Whereas Addie Monroe, we just kind of see her standing in one spot in a salon. Even though she knew her product stank, she didn't want to sit up there and redo the product. She just kept chasing Madam C.J. Walker, worried about her, but she was not worried about making her own grass greener. And Madam C.J. Walker was. So that's the difference between her elevation and somebody standing still, in my opinion. That's is that, you know, you need to stop having fear. I'm a huge person of this, is that fear will normally hold you back. Yes, oftentimes we have fear of failing. Yes, oftentimes we have fear of stepping out on faith, fear of what other people will do, fear of what other people won't do, whether they receive us or whatever. That is a natural part of life. But at the end of the day, understand that when you fear and you don't do, then you will get a whole bunch of nothing, because that is what fear does. It holds you back. Fear. Gabriel, stop screaming! Because ultimately, fear, not doing anything out of fear is the same thing as getting a no. You will get the same response. So a lot of people, so at the end of the day, the worst thing that can happen is somebody could tell you no. And Madam C.J. Walker did get a lot of no's, but she got a lot of yeses too. And even her no's, even with the Booker T. Washington situation, led her to another avenue to get a yes. So even in the no's, even in your failures, even in your downfalls, understand that those can all be used as a learning opportunity to make you better. Even when she wanted to work with Addie in the beginning, she took Addie's product and she sold them to show her that people would buy from somebody like her, and Addie still said no. And guess what she did? She was like, okay, I'm gonna start my own business. Yeah, I can have fear that nobody's gonna buy from me and they're gonna say I'm ugly, and then everybody's gonna look at me like, oh, I don't want to look at you. But at the end of the day, she still took that leap of faith, because not doing would be the same thing as a no. And she was scrubbing laundry, her hands was all raw, she wasn't doing anything anyway. So at one point you have to say, am I happy where I am? And if I'm not, am I willing to take that leap of faith to get to where I want to be, having no fear of failure, because that might happen, knowing that I will succeed or find some type of success or learning within a failure, because every successful person has failed. Trust me, they will tell you that. Or am I willing to stay stagnant? Understand that the difference between stagnation and no fear, even in the failures, even in the setbacks, can be $8 million and still doing laundry, not getting anywhere much. So you have to determine what type of life you want based on how you are willing to go about your life. And one of those things is eliminating fear, or at least pretending like you do and willing to take those steps of faith anyway. All right, guys. All right. Don't forget to check the description box. My Patreon will be in there. I also mentioned my Christian manifestation guide. That will be down below as well. And I will talk to you guys another day, another time. Bye, y'all.